Good evening, wrestling fans. Welcome to Evolution of Pro Wrestling. I'm Lewis, and this is Jay. We got a hell of a topic for you tonight. We didn't mention it last week because we were explaining a lot of stuff that's been going on with Evolution of Pro Wrestling. But before we get into our topic, I just want to say happy 25th anniversary to Triple H.
Oh, yeah.
25 years in the WWE. The man, he
Yep.
did it all. Irfan is on. How's it going, Irfan?
What's up, Irfan?
And he's been there for 25 years.
Yeah.
Triple H. The man has done it all. The WWE. He's a major superstar. He's Hall of Fame
He
caliber.
is, yes, he is.
You know what I mean?
He is Hall of Fame caliber.
So,
You're right.
Jaden, today's topic is one that many people still debate about.
Oh, yeah, a lot of people still debate about this topic.
You have Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant. You have Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart. Ric Flair, Ricky Steamboat. All great rivalries. But many people are still wondering, in the 90s era and Attitude Era, who was the best superstar in that era? Who made a bigger impact? Thank you, sir. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it. Who made a bigger impact in the 90s era and Attitude Era? Stone Cold Steve Austin?
Or The Rock. We're going to be talking about those two. We're going to be talking about which one we think carried the company bigger, the people they went up against, the impact they had on wrestling, their debuts. As these characters, we're probably going to be talking about, their other gimmicks, but as these characters, the way they made their debut, the way they played their character, we're just going to be talking about loads of things
How
about
they
these
started.
guys. How they all started,
and,
exactly.
Would they have been able to compete in the 80s back then, with the
legends, the
as
big
well
legends.
as the Millennium.
Yes.
You know what I mean? The Rock had a few battles with certain people in the Millennium era, but who's to say, that would they have been able to compete with them?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
agree.
So, this is what this discussion is about. Originally, Stone Cold Steve Austin was Stunning Steve Austin.
Yep.
He started off in WCW, excellent TV champion, the longest reigning TV champion. He was United States champion. Now, Dwayne Johnson was a former football player.
Yes.
He played college football. He played good football. His father, the late Rocky Johnson, was in professional wrestling.
Yep.
So The Rock wanted to follow up in his footsteps. He came in as a baby face, made a hell of a debut. And next thing you know, the fans turned on him.
Oh, yeah.
Why do you think the fans turned on The Rock when he first made his debut?
I think they probably turned on him when he first made his debut. Probably because they didn't like the gimmick that The Rock had, Because, that's what happens, when there's a new when there's an upcoming person, there's a new person, people enjoy it at first, but then, people start to get bored of it. That's probably why a whole bunch of people that started, they come up with new gimmicks. So, like the John Cena gimmick, Undertaker's gimmick, all gimmicks like that. So then they're probably like, okay, it's time for a new gimmick because this Rock gimmick, the gimmick that The Rock had before, it wasn't really,
Well, that's the fans enjoyed it when he first came out,
that's everybody though.
Let's cheer.
Yeah, exactly.
The fans were getting sick of it. It was a younger generation coming into the mix. Many people were saying, okay, what's gonna happen now? Are they gonna build this character? What they're gonna do?
Right.
Brian says those two wrestlers impacted the wrestling industry in many different aspects on their own levels. Completely different fan bases. It's rare when you get two wrestlers to be very active and very popular at the same time. You're absolutely right. Because Brian, as many of you don't know, some might know, Stone Cold Steve Austin received a pile driver at SummerSlam. And he injured his neck, and it nearly cost him his career, and it cost him his life. So at a point, it was coming to the conclusion that he needed surgery, neck surgery, that would have probably cost him his career for at least about maybe, almost a year, pretty much. That's pretty much what happened. So when that happened, The Rock decided to make his presence known. He became a heel. He joined the Nation of Domination where he with Farouk, Mark Henry, Kama.
I really feel like since that Stone Cold situation happened, I feel like The Rock, when he made that debut at that time when Stone Cold was out, I feel like The Rock was one of the reasons why WWE and this wrestling industry is still the way it is today, because there would honestly be no Rock without WWE, and there would be there would be a WWE without The Rock. But everybody wouldn't have enjoyed it. Everybody wouldn't have did the people's eyebrow, all that stuff without The Rock. So I feel like The Rock did have a really big part in the WWE, and I think he saved the WWE at that time.
Well, what do you think of the Rock wrestling in the 80s era? We definitely saw the match between Hulk Hogan and The Rock at WrestleMania. But what would have happened if The Rock would have been in his prime and Hulk Hogan in his prime?
I don't think The Rock could have handled that.
I'm glad you agree.
I don't think The Rock could have handled that.
I'm glad you agree.
I understand The Rock, but The Rock is one of those type of wrestlers. He's still young enough where he can wrestle with all these other superstars. He may still not have it as much as he used to, but if The Rock was to step into a ring with a wrestler, The Rock could still throw down with a show. So believe it or not, The Rock still got it. So I feel like The Rock is a wrestler moving on, is like a second generation wrestler, he was moving into those, those new wrestlers. Hulk Hogan is an old school wrestler, his time is over now. He can't wrestle anymore.
No, absolutely
he can't wrestle whatsoever. He's done. So I feel like if he was at his prime, Hulk Hogan would have, laid the smackdown on him. Hulk Hogan would have laid the foot on him. He would have won.
Well, that's the point. That's the point that many people still talk about it. That could Stone Cold would have been able to deal with this era. Like a Seth Rollins or a Roman Reigns.
Oh yeah, Stone Cold could handle
John Moxley.
He could handle that.
You know what I mean? It's tough to say because
I feel like he can.
Like Brian, see, look at that. Even Michael Robinson said The Rock and Roman Reigns. Many people are still talking about that match to this day, and many people are saying that it could happen. It could happen in next year's WrestleMania.
I prefer fans to be there, though. I would love to see that.
Oh no, absolutely. I
would love to see that. That would be.
I think this pandemic will definitely be over by that time. So
that would be amazing. That would be an amazing match. That would be a match that's a match everyone's waiting to see. That's what everybody's asking for.
Exactly. Brian says Hogan in his prime was a powerhouse. He had more control of the business than what people think. He had a lot of influences. The Rock would have never had much fame because of that, in my opinion. I would have to agree. I would have to agree 100% because there's politics in not even just WWE, just in professional wrestling. There's always politics.
Now, Dad, I got a question for you. Say Stone Cold was as young as all these other superstars you see now, but what if he was to wrestle in this generation? Do you think he would be able to take on these wrestlers in this generation?
Absolutely.
Okay, why?
You talking about Stone Cold?
Yes.
Okay, so with Stone Cold's attitude as, the rattlesnake, the way he did with Shawn Michaels, Triple H, he took on the best of them, Triple H, The Rock, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart. He had a grueling battle with Bret Hart at WrestleMania in a submission match. So I think personally he can.
I agree.
He can compete with that type of era.
I agree.
It's like I said, it's two, like Brian said, it's two totally different styles. The Rock has this kind of technical type wrestling. Stone Cold, somewhat of technical wrestling. So, do I think he can beat a Seth Rollins? Maybe.
I think he can.
Can he beat a Roman Reigns?
Maybe.
But it's tough to say.
It is tough to say, because we can't sleep on this new generation of superstars. These superstars are, putting on shows for all these before the fans got taken out of the arena, they were putting on shows for fans. And even to this day, I bet some fans, still enjoy it, even though it's an empty arena. So, it's kind of it like you said, it is kind of hard to it's kind of hard to top down, and it's kind of hard to call. So,
Well,
yeah.
guys, if you before we continue, we just want to say, if you can, please share our live feed
Yes.
around your page, around professional wrestling fans all over. Have them come in, talk wrestling with us. We could do it all day, man. This is what we're here for. We got a pandemic going. Professional wrestling isn't what it is right now, but that's what we're here to talk about. All of professional wrestling, past, present, future, whatever you got.
Yes.
So Brian says Stone Cold's fan base would have definitely been behind him, but now his body wouldn't allow him to keep up with the guys nowadays. He's right. Brian is right. You know, Stone Cold did mention that he thinks he can get back in the ring, but he's still giving it second thoughts, and he still has one more match, and I wonder who that match would be with. You know what I mean?
That would be nice. I would love to see a match with him.
Michael Robinson says Stone Cold in his prime, he could. Christopher Brown says, here's one for you, Lewis. 316 beat a guy like Daniel Bryan or Drew Gulak. I will say Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan.
I agree.
And Alvin Cloud says, what's the topic? Who was the greatest superstar and had a bigger impact in the 90s era, Attitude Era? Combined, Stone Cold, Steve Austin, or The Rock. So, with that being said, it's like, Jaden.
Yes.
Do you think The Rock could beat a Roman Reigns?
I feel like Rock at his prime when he was The Rock. But now, you know, The Rock is all about, you know, movie making and all that stuff like that. So I feel like he'll probably be a little rusty when he gets into the ring. So I gotta give it to Roman Reigns because, you know, The Rock isn't the same man who we all once knew. I mean, he'll probably hit him, you know, with the signature moves, the people's elbow, the spine buster, all that stuff. But I still feel like Roman Reigns would beat him because Roman Reigns is, I wouldn't say better shape, but Roman Reigns is probably more of a better wrestler now that he keeps up with the company and like he doesn't just show up like one event, then you know like he waits like 10 months and then he shows up for another one. So like, you know, I feel like Roman Reigns would win that. I gotta give it to Roman.
Well, Brian says that Triple H is making 25 years. Yep, today he made 25 years to follow up, and I think Stone Cold should fight Triple H next WrestleMania.
That wouldn't be a bad match.
Yep, I would say that would be a hell of a match.
That would be a good match.
That would definitely be a hell of a match.
They fought each other before, right? I could have sworn they fought each other.
Yes, they did. They fought in the 3 stages of hell.
Okay.
And it was a grueling match. Like those two had a heated rivalry going for a long time, and especially what impressed me even more was the alliance that they had when they were together. So Brian says WrestleMania. Oh, yep, exactly. I know what you meant. In next WrestleMania, it would be a great match.
I would
love to see that
yes.
match. You know, especially what happened with them and Ronda Rousey.
Oh yeah,
that definitely would have been a good match. Christopher Brown says we may be getting that match next year, Lewis. I've been hearing about it. I hope it happens.
I hope they tell him the truth. I hope it's for real.
Well, I hope so.
That would be an amazing. Oh man, I would love to see a match like that happen. But, hey Dad, I got a question for you.
Sure.
Do you think Stone Cold? No, not Stone Cold. Do you think The Rock would be able to take? No, you know what? Scratch that again. Do you think The Rock and Stone Cold will be able to take on the likes of Braun Strowman or Drew McIntyre? Or, you know, people like Andrade or people like that?
That's a tough question. That's a really tough question. I don't know. It's kind of tough to call. You know what I mean? Like, because Drew McIntyre is...
Believe it or not, he's like the best thing out right now.
No, he's definitely a fighter.
He is.
It's kind of tough to say, son.
It is really tough to say.
So, we got Alvin Cloud saying, growing up during that era, I saw more Austin shirts than The Rock shirts. Michael Robinson says The Rock in his prime could beat Roman Reigns, but not now.
Exactly. That's what I said.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
And Brian says, go on The Rock's Instagram and let all hashtag the match. That's actually not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. So Michael Robinson said in his prime, I would love to see that match.
Yes.
I would definitely like to see that match. You know, it's like...
I feel like they would put on a good show, but I feel like they would put on an even better show if The Rock was still in the WWE and not, you know, I get it. He's having a big success making all these movies, but I feel like if he was to still be in the WWE, they'll put on like that'll probably be what like the best match in the house if he was to never leave wrestling and he was to keep up like how all these wrestlers are keeping up. But you know, I still feel like if that was to happen, they'll put on a good show.
Okay, so with Roman Reigns, saying a lot of people have mentioned Roman Reigns and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Can Stone Cold keep up with Roman Reigns? I think he could. And the reason I say that is because if...
Wait, are you talking about like now?
Now.
Okay, I want to hear this, because I need to hear this.
Okay. So, with Roman Reigns, he's a powerhouse.
Yes.
That's no doubt.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
But, if The Undertaker was able to keep up with Roman Reigns, why can't Stone Cold?
All right. Oh, you do have a really good point about that, you know. You do have a really good point about that because, you know, Undertaker is not the best wrestler anymore, you know. He could still throw he's past his prime, but you know, he could still wrestle. Undertaker, it's, you know, it's kind of hard for him to wrestle since he's getting older, but, you know, he was still able to wrestle. Even though he lost the match, you know, he still put on a good show for the fans. If the fans enjoyed it, and everybody's going home happy.
Christopher Brown says, think about it, if and only if they actually have Mania in Hollywood next year, that match would be more likely to happen. I'll say it now, in a Reigns versus Dwayne match, Reigns would be the heel. I believe that.
That would be nice.
I would believe that.
That would be nice.
That would be nice for Roman Reigns to be a heel.
But if he was to be a heel, though, I think they should try to edge up his mic skills a little bit.
Yep. Michael Robinson says The Rock and Sock connection. And Brian says, well, let's keep in mind, Taker is still active.
Yeah, exactly.
Active
right.
Versus these guys who haven't put on a show in years. You're absolutely right. And to this day, I'm going to continue saying it. The Boneyard match at WrestleMania.
That was a nice match. That was so amazing.
But by far was one of the best I've ever seen.
I would have liked to see fans with it, but it was amazing. It was so amazing.
The way they put it together, the way they did, and they say it took 8 hours for that match.
Wow.
To create it, but it was amazing.
It was amazing. It was really amazing.
Now imagine back then if they would have done a match back then like that,
a Boneyard match,
Stone Cold and The Undertaker.
That would have been that match would have sold out. That match would have had a lot of people out of their chairs, would have had a lot of people going crazy.
Well, Christopher Brown says, and let's not forget Austin's knees have a consistency of rubber bands at this stage in his life if he were to get back in the ring. Michael Robinson says, what was the best match to me? Also, yep. It was. That was a good match.
It was.
Brian says, best match at WrestleMania. My wife thought I was watching a movie. It looked like a movie.
It did look like a movie.
It looked like a movie. The way he came in with the music, the way the Druids came out, you know, it was an amazing match. You know, we enjoyed it.
AJ Styles' entrance set it alone. The way he came out of the casket, it was crazy.
It was a crazy
And I'm surprised
match.
Undertaker still had it. His entrance was amazing. He came on the motorcycle. It was crazy. Yes.
No, we enjoyed it. So,
we did enjoy it.
But that's exactly what I'm saying. You know, these are the type of matches that you should have seen back then. You know what I mean? Like, you don't put them now because there's no fans. You know, this is now that you take the opportunity and do something like this. You know, if you would have had Stone Cold or The Rock in this type of era, in their prime, doing this type of work, it would have been great. You know what I mean? Back then, when the Attitude Era was going, I'm talking about they were doing Suck It. Stone Cold was flipping off the bird at everybody, and The Rock was calling everybody a candy ass and all that crap. So that's what I'm saying. Like, how this is what you got to look forward to when you see these two guys.
Okay, now.
But again, no one has answered my question.
What's the question?
Who had a bigger impact?
Now, okay, look.
In the 90s era with the Attitude Era.
This question goes on to your question. What were your thoughts on the beef with Stone Cold and the McMahons? What was your input on
Best
that? Like,
feud of all time.
what have you? Yeah, exactly.
Best rivalry of all time.
So then, if that was the biggest rivalry of all time, the best feud of all time, then don't you think Stone Cold had the bigger impact since he got to mess with the CO? He actually got to mess with McMahon, and he got to mess with his family. Wouldn't he have the best impact out of those two?
Oh yeah, exactly. Christopher Brown says expect with the Money in the Bank, except with the Money in the Bank match, Lewis, what we got out of the Boneyard match. Although I'm wondering how they're gonna pull through all floors of the HQ. I'm eager to see that Money in the Bank match too. So it's crazy. Brian says stop being a jabroni, Lewis.
What is that?
A jabroni. That's what the Rock used to call people.
Oh.
Michael Robinson said loved it. Christopher Brown says Austin had a bigger impact in the late 90s. Dwayne's impact was more in the 1998 till he left for the movies.
All right. That's what I'm saying. So, like, you said...
So an example. What if The Rock didn't leave for movies?
Okay, then if The Rock didn't leave for movies, I feel like... Do you
think Stone Cold would have still been around?
There's two sides... I feel like there's two sides to that. Because... I feel like since The Rock wasn't there, that's probably one reason why they started the feud he started a feud with the McMahons. Mm-hmm. But I also feel like if The Rock was there, I feel like he could have had more feuds and more rivalries with more wrestlers, such as wrestlers probably like Mick Foley and going down the list and stuff like that. He probably could have had... He could have had a lot of feuds, and he probably could have won a lot more championships if he was to stay in wrestling. So I feel like The Rock and Stone Cold, if The Rock was to stay in the WWE at the time if The Rock was to stay in with Stone Cold at that time, they would probably have like a similar impact on wrestling.
But that's what I'm saying, that when it came to a situation like that when they fought at WrestleMania the last time, WrestleMania 17, mm-hmm. Stone Cold turned heel.
Right.
I think personally that was a bad move on Vince McMahon's part.
Yeah.
Because pretty much you killed the character
yeah.
of the Rattlesnake. You killed the character of Rattlesnake. The Rattlesnake was this, I didn't trust nobody, yada, yada, yada. You made him a heel, and then...
I don't think when he was the Rattlesnake, I don't think he was neither heel or face.
No, he was
because
neutral.
He was neutral. He was like, he was like an anti. He wasn't a hero or a villain. Mm-hmm. He wasn't a heel or a face. He was just a Rattlesnake. He had the, I don't care if you're a heel or a face, you're still gonna get the business if you disrespect me attitude. He had that type of attitude, and then, Mr. McMahon turned him heel, and then that completely went downhill.
So we have Christopher Brown says if Dwayne hadn't left for Hollywood, he would have tied Flair a hell of a lot quicker than John Cena did. I believe that.
I agree.
Brian says eventually he would have been a part-timer. Yeah, because he's in movies. Mm-hmm. But as you are right, Brian. He would have been a part-time because they would have been getting older. They would not have been able to wrestle. That's why Stone Cold did quit. Michael Robinson says, okay, how about Sheamus against Stone Cold?
That wouldn't.
I don't know. I think Stone Cold still kick his ass.
That wouldn't be a bad match though.
Yeah.
I wouldn't probably want to watch the match.
The match I wanted to see, that many people wanted to see Stone Cold come out of retirement to whip his ass, was Stone Cold against CM Punk.
CM Punk?
That beef that they had they had a legitimate beef.
Like actual beef? Yeah, like in real life?
They had a legitimate beef that they did not like each other because of the way Stone Cold was and the way CM Punk was, straight edge, no drugs, no drinks, none of that crap. And it was a heated rivalry. So it was interesting to see that happen. And I'm like, okay, but we never got to see the match. But we did see CM Punk and The Rock. He did take on him,
I feel like that was kind of a stupid way to
even Brian says it, which means Brian thinks
it only takes one stunner. I agree.
I know it's agree. And the reason he says that, because a long time ago he gave me a stunner too in the backyard.
I mean, but if you think about it, what percentage is it for people to kick out of a Stone Cold stunner? It's really rare for people to kick out of a stunner. For one stunner, that's it. Like you get hit with a perfect stunner, you're done. Like you're not getting up from that. You will have to be an insane legend to kick out of a Stone Cold Stunner.
Well,
because that move is
okay.
really deadly.
So Christopher Brown says if you're going to do one last match with Austin, the match that would be perfect would be Austin versus Kevin Owens.
I
kinda have to agree.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree.
See. You see what Brian is doing. He's starting trouble. Saying I sure did because he hit me with the Stone Cold Stunner, and then you hit me with the garbage can afterwards. I remember that was hard too. It was hurting him. I'm like, damn, I almost killed him.
Dad.
Those were the days when we used to wrestle.
Yeah,
it was amazing, man.
When you were younger.
Shut up. I'm only 38.
Going 40.
See the disrespect on this kid. So speaking of birthdays, somebody's turning 14 in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, May 14th, guys. Wish me a happy birthday. I'll stunner you all. I'm just playing.
But Jaden.
Yes.
Who had the better impact in professional wrestling?
The Rattlesnake. Before you even
Why?
before you even finish that, the Rattlesnake, because the Rattlesnake, he just had that attitude. He had the I don't care attitude. He had a feud with the McMahons. Like that's something when you start a feud with the owners of WWE. He started a feud with the McMahons. He brought a beer truck in a WWE. He, would flip the birdie on people, give them a stunner, drink beer. Once he smacked them together, that's when Stone Cold was having an amazing time.
Of course.
So, Stone Cold, he even attacked Booker T in a supermarket.
Oh, yeah.
That was so funny. I feel like Stone Cold had the bigger impact.
Price check on a jackass.
Yeah, so I feel like Stone Cold had the bigger impact.
Stone Cold that's right, Michael. He stunned
Stone Cold,
yeah,
exactly. So I feel like he had a bigger impact than The Rock. I feel like I'm not trying to say The Rock is a bad wrestler, but I feel like Stone Cold had a way bigger impact than The Rock.
What do you guys think? Who had the bigger impact in WWE?
Now that is your turn to
Stone
answer
Cold
that
and The
question.
Rock. Well, I'm gonna say many people have said that Hulk Hogan and Stone Cold by far are the best superstars in WWE. Hulk Hogan began it. Stone Cold saved it.
That's true.
He saved the WWE, so I have to say Stone Cold. Not taking anything away from The Rock. The most electrifying man in sports
They
entertainment
don't give him
today.
that nickname for nothing.
Yes, the man did stardom.
Exactly.
But Stone Cold Steve Austin did it all.
Yeah, he did.
And Christopher Brown says Austin's impact also saved the company during the Attitude Era. After Hogan left for WCW, I think without him, Vince would have had a harder time staying afloat. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. They would have went out of business if Stone Cold would have never been the way he was.
Mm-hmm.
Christopher Brown says Stone Cold. Yeah, Stone Cold had
exactly.
the bigger,
Stone Cold had the bigger impact.
Ryan says, honestly, I can't compare. I have them both come out now, one offer another. Watch all the fans mark out like crazy. I have to say they both held it down. The audience pop says it all. Absolutely. I agree with that too.
Yes.
It's tough.
Tough. It is tough.
They both had a big impact, like The Rock, the millions. And they caught the crowd.
He
Same
did.
thing with Stone Cold. Oh, give me a hell yeah.
Yeah.
What?
What?
That joke was funny.
Yes.
So
yeah.
It was interesting. It was interesting to see these guys, and I could still go on TV and watch episodes of Monday Night Raw, with Stone Cold coming out. I even look at Backlash when he returned at WrestleMania.
I even look at the time where he brought
the Backlash
beer truck into the WWE.
Yeah. It was amazing.
It was amazing.
Yeah. So, Jaden. What's happening next Friday?
Oh, next Friday. Next Friday, we're going to be having our first ever trivia. WWE trivia.
No. Not just WWE. We are having our first ever trivia episode of all professional wrestling.
So every single professional wrestling.
Every single professional
So every
wrestling.
single professional
we're
wrestling.
Gonna have. We're gonna have a lot. Like
we recently brung this up, but now we're gonna get more into detail.
Well,
about it.
Pretty much with the trivia next week, it will be our first annual. Oh, look at your grandma.
Hey, Grandma.
What's up? Hello, Nancy. The first ever trivia, Evolution of Pro Wrestling trivia show. That will be next week. But we will be making this a monthly thing.
Yes.
So with these questions, the way this is going to work is these ain't going to be no rinky-dinky questions.
No, these are going to be challenging questions.
Challenging questions.
And we're going to stir it up, too. You guys are allowed to ask us questions.
You can ask us questions.
You can even ask me questions, and I just have to guess them. I can't. And if you love WWE the way you really do, don't use Google. Don't cheat.
Please,
you gotta think of the question off of the top of your head.
Fan, you would be able to
you
know
answer the question off the top of your head.
What is going on?
Yes.
So I'm actually gonna give them a practice question to see if they're ready.
Okay.
To know what's gonna happen. But this is gonna be an easy one. So, who was the number 3 entry in the Royal Rumble of 1993? And I'm going to wait for somebody to answer. Do you know who it is?
I do not know who it is.
I know who it is.
Of course you know who it is.
And by the way, fans, we also throw in the kicker that whoever answers the most questions at the end of the show will be a future guest host with us.
How about a 30-second time limit to answer? That's fair, Dad. That's fair. 30-second time limit.
That's fine.
30
we can
second
go with that.
time
If other
limit.
people agree with that, 30-second
30-second time limit. That's
we
fair.
give everybody a chance to sign it. So, okay, Michael Roberts says, say it again. Who was the number 3 entry in the 1993 Royal Rumble? 1993.
I feel like I know who it is.
Brian, did you just say Stone Cold in 1993? You should know that.
I'm not gonna lie, that's what I was gonna say too.
Really? Brian should know this.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Wow.
I was thinking of the same person. I was thinking of the same exact guy. Grandma,
Nancy said,
really? Oh my God.
Brian's laughing. He says, I'm tired.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Okay. I work overnights, laughing my ass off. Okay, you guys got 10 more seconds, and then I'm just gonna come up with the answer. It's a legend. I'll give you a hint. A legend and a Hall of Famer.
Oh.
Multiple time champion. Heavyweight champion. Christopher.
Am I allowed to guess?
No, he was not. Oh, no. Actually, you know what? I'm so sorry. You're absolutely right. 1992. Who was the number 3 entry in 1992? Christopher Brown, you're actually right about number 3. 1993.
So wait, 1992.
In 1992, who was the number 3 entry in the Royal Rumble?
I'm gonna make a solid guess.
Match?
Was it Ric Flair?
You got it.
Okay.
You got it.
All right. I answered the first question. I got the first question right at the trivia.
I screwed up with that question, but that's how the trivia is.
The 1992. Yeah. So yeah, that's how that's basically what the trivia is gonna be. Yeah.
We're gonna ask questions like that. We're also gonna ask questions like who made their return at the 2001 Royal Rumble. Stuff like that. He said, let's go, Jay. So we're going to ask those questions.
You can't see me, guy. John Cena, Grandma. That's who that's called.
Tell your grandma to share this
Grandma,
live
share the live, please.
So that's what we're going to call. And that's what it's going to be about, the trivia. And we're so excited that we're going to be sharing this with you. Michael Robinson, all these guys watching our show. We're going to do this trivia. We hope you enjoy the trivia. Again, today's final vote for Monday Night Watch Party, the Evolution of Pro Wrestling Monday Night Watch Party. Vote for your match now for which one you want to see on the Monday Night Watch Party at 8 o'clock. Fans, as always, we thank you for
Well,
joining
hold on, Dad. Before we go off live,
Sure.
I had a question for you.
Oh, yeah?
Who won the 2005 Royal Rumble, and what number did he come in?
Is that the best you got, son?
Right now. I don't want to make it too spicy.
Okay,
so for
okay,
right now,
okay.
just for right now.
Batista.
Okay.
Number 27.
All right, there you go. Okay, you got it.
Christopher Brown says, "Least I can show my chops with the trivia." Lewis laughing out loud. Yep, no, you can hang with the big boys. Okay, before we go, I'm gonna give you a question.
Ooh.
Who fought in a last man standing match? In the 2007 Royal Rumble.
Really, Dad? I know that match by heart.
Who was it?
John Cena fought Umaga for the WWE title, and John Cena had a bloody match, but John Cena fought through it, and John Cena won the match by giving Umaga an STF.
Okay, there you go. That's what trivia is going to be about, fans.
Yep.
So you guys can ask us all the questions you want to. Come that trivia night. We're excited for it. We can't wait. And hopefully it's a long show. We asking all the questions. And I will have a lot of good questions going on. So, as always, fans, we appreciate you watching and supporting our evolution of pro wrestling.
Absolutely.
Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yes.
Evolution of Pro Wrestling. We would love to have you guys subscribing. We love talking wrestling with you fans. It's something we like to do.
Oh, yeah.
If you have any questions, concerns, or topics in mind, please either email us at Evolution of Pro Wrestling or email us at evolutionofprowrestling@gmail.com, or you can message us on Facebook. Brian says, who won the 1997 Royal Rumble?
That's all you, Dad.
Stone Cold, my man. He
What?
won the 97 and 98.
Why did I want to say that, too?
Brian, you know I'm Mr. Wiz Kid with wrestling.
Yeah, you really are, Dad.
I'm anxious to see what kind of questions he's going to ask
See,
that
I
day.
told you it was the You Can't See Me guy, John Cena.
So, but yeah, we're excited, guys. We're excited.
Yeah.
We are. We're actually, before I go, since Brian asked me a question, I'm going to ask him this question.
Give him one with...
I am. I was just thinking about that. Man, it's kind of hard. He says, "Oh shit, I gotta go." He's trying to run away. Come on, don't run away yet. Yeah, but I'm gonna ask this question. Okay, who did Undertaker beat at WrestleMania 15? WrestleMania 15. Who did he beat, Brian? So over here, Siri. Psycho Sid. Let me look up that resource. WrestleMania 15, right? Is that what I said?
Yes, you did.
Nope. It was actually Big Boss Man.
Boss Man.
I think he beat Sid in He put it crossing my fingers. I think he beat Psycho Sid in WrestleMania 13. If I'm not mistaken. I think WrestleMania 13. No. WrestleMania 12. It was one of those two. WrestleMania 12 and WrestleMania 13. So, but you see, this is a prime example, Jay, of what's gonna happen. So, but thank you, fans. We are definitely we're out, fans. We are definitely looking forward to seeing you on Monday in the interactive. It's all right. You have your chance next week, man. Remember, study hard, man. Study hard. We want to have you back on the show, man. We're gonna work on this program. Your grandmother said Batman.
Really? Grandma, what are you talking? Grandma, call me after the show, please.
Brian says it's all good. I'm tired, laughing my ass off. I work overnight. All right, we let you pass, man. We let you pass. Don't worry. But we thank you guys for watching. We're definitely looking forward to see you next week. I guess again Monday, interactive discussion of the evolution of pro wrestling watch party, Monday night watch party. We'll see you then. For myself, Lewis, for my co-host and my son Jay, and for my producer and director, my lovely wife Yesenia. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you next week.